Yes, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Warzone Jones coming right back at you. Pro wrestling related topic video. And I want to talk about celebrities that come into pro wrestling. People who don't have anything to do with pro wrestling. You know, those celebrities, those actors, athletes. Could be a rapper, a singer. Those people who clearly aren't wrestlers. Maybe they're a fan, maybe they're not. Most of the time, I would say we get people who come in wrestling that are celebrities that are not fans, and it clearly shows. For example, that one guy, I don't know who the hell he was, I believe he was a race car driver who had called SummerSlam Summerfest. That just looks bad. But there have been some that have been good. So I'm gonna talk about the ones that have been good and the ones that have been considered to be god awful. Now let's talk about the ones that have been good. For example, Mike Tyson. One of the reasons why they brought Mike Tyson in, because at that point in time, Mike Tyson was considered to be the baddest man on the planet. Hell, that was his name. That was his nickname, the baddest man on the planet. And he came off that way. And they wanted to put a guy like that in the WWE ring. And guess what? It worked out for him. So that celebrity worked out for them. Mike Tyson was, hell, basically a gold mine when it came to boxing, and hell, they made a lot of money off that gold mine. Vince McMahon did, so it worked out for them. Mike Tyson got them on ESPN, and all types of news. It got them talking about them in the WWE in the newspaper. It got them to basically broaden the WWE in places that you wouldn't normally hear about them, that you wouldn't normally see them. So ESPN, let's be honest here, they're not gonna cover pro wrestling like that unless it's a big time athlete. Now Mike Tyson was considered to be, I would say he was probably more than likely either the number one or number two most popular athlete in the world. Either him or Michael Jordan was. Those two were like big time athletes, and they got Mike Tyson. He was clearly at least one of the top 5 biggest athletes. Very controversial. Whenever you heard about Mike Tyson, people listened around that time. So when they got him there, it worked. Mike Tyson was able to catch on with the whole WWE storyline and the way they do their system, and it worked. It worked for Mike Tyson. It worked for the WWE. Now here's something that didn't work, because a lot of the time when you bring in a celebrity, it just don't work sometimes. For example, the guy from WCW who did the WCW movie, I can't think his name right now. It's gonna come to me. David Arquette. David Arquette did not work. It really didn't. It really didn't. David Arquette was said to be one of the things that killed WCW. This man became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Now a lot of people looked at that as a joke, like they couldn't believe it. What the hell is this guy coming in the business? Who I believe David Arquette was a wrestling fan. I think he was a wrestling fan, but even though he was a wrestling fan, that doesn't mean that he should just be the WCW champion. Like, let's be honest here. Just because I'm a wrestling fan, and just because I have like a couple of Academy Awards or a couple of like NBA championships or whatever, that doesn't mean I should be the WCW champion. Now, I remember Vince Russo said the reason why he did it was to get people talking about WCW outside of pro wrestling. He wanted to see WCW, in the newspaper, things like that. And he said that, yeah, that's what they had got, but at the end of the day, it just still really didn't work out, because for one thing, WCW still went out of business, and a lot of people said it was bad, it was a travesty, and it just wasn't entertaining, and that it was just a bad idea. So it didn't work out that way. So it didn't work out the way that Vince Russo wanted it to. So that was bad. That clearly was bad. Let me think of another bad one that just didn't work. For example, some of the celebrity GMs, the celebrity guest hosts of Raw, overdid, overblown. It was way too many, and not all of them was good. Matter of fact, most of them was bad. I like the Shaquille O'Neal. I thought Shaquille O'Neal was pretty good, but not everybody has Shaquille O'Neal's charisma. Like, let's be honest here. Bob Barker was surprisingly good. I thought he was good, but they had a lot of bad ones. Now, the worst GM I thought, celebrity GM, was Dennis Miller. I remember every joke that this guy would try to say, and it was all bad. It was all bad. I remember the crowd was dead that night, and he just wasn't getting people to laugh. Like, people would laugh. Like, they wasn't laughing. He wasn't funny. They didn't care. And I remember on this night that the commentators, JR or Jerry King Lawler, whoever was commentating that night, they were laughing to basically trying to get his jokes over with the fans. Like, he was trying to make it, they was laughing to basically back him up because they knew that it was utter crap. So we see a lot of crap from celebrities. Sometimes they get an athlete that does work, like I said with Mike Tyson. And hell, another one, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd was good. He was great. He was entertaining. Floyd had charisma. He had athleticism. So even though I don't think they intended for Floyd to be the bad guy, because Floyd was the heel. He was the heel. But that's kind of how Floyd comes off in general. So they might as well just did it that way. So Floyd came off as the heel. He came into WWE. He was flaunting his money, and it worked out well for them. That was one of the better WrestleManias, and the match was pretty damn entertaining. The match between him and the Big Show was an entertaining match. And the more recent one we got, which I have talked about before in my last video, so go ahead and check the video out, with Stephen Amell coming in to WWE. He jumps the ring and he jumps Stardust. So if you haven't seen my take on that with Stephen Amell, go ahead and check that video out. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because I already talked about that. But there has been a lot of bad celebrities, and there's been occasionally some good celebrities. WCW has done it, WWE has done it, TNA Wrestling has done it. They all have had their bad celebrities and not so good ones. And most of the time when a celebrity comes in, like, if you don't know who the hell that celebrity is, you probably more than likely won't care. You probably more than likely won't. I remember LT, Lawrence Taylor. I believe that was his name. Either Lawrence Taylor or Lawrence Taylor. No, I don't watch football like that, especially back then. I was a little kid. But I remember him versus Bam Bam Bigelow, and I didn't know who he was. I just knew that he was some sort of football player, but I didn't really care. And guess what? They made this match the main event of a WrestleMania. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was, but it was the main event of a WrestleMania. So I remember not knowing who the guy was and not really caring. So to me, if you are going to get a celebrity to come into pro wrestling, you're going to put him in a big angle. If you or him or a girl, it doesn't matter. If you're going to put this person into a big angle, make sure they know what the hell they're doing. Make sure they are capable of being at least entertaining. Make sure they don't come off as crap, and make sure that the fans care. Don't be getting D-list celebrities like Dennis Miller and whoever else that they had. Like, bring somebody in who people care about. So